How are you, my internet family? Good morning. I'm here with my tea and with my degree. I am qualified as a teacher. Check that out. So I hope some of you are listening to me. This video wasn't on my planned list of videos, but I got a lot of Snapchats from a lot of you guys who are getting your results this week, last week, next week. Exam results don't matter. That's something that a lot of very well-meaning people will probably be saying to you right now. That's not what I'm here to say. I don't feel like we should rain on the parades of people who have shown a lot of dedication in, getting the results that they really wanted. I'm also not sitting here in my pajamas to say that we're all special little snowflakes and we should all just, feck it. What I am here to talk about is my experience with the education system, and also about how it's only one route to achieving your goal. If there's something that you really want to do and are very, very passionate about, you can do it or something like it one way or another. And just because at 18 years old you may not know what you want to do with the rest of your entire life, it doesn't mean you're a failure. My dad is like 52, and he still doesn't know what he wants to do when he grows up. Being a teenager is hard enough, let alone having such a huge decision weighing on your shoulders, and it causes a lot of people to just break down and just hide under a pillow. So let me start off by saying a couple of things. Number one, if you are waiting on your results, I have an exam results survival guide video that I did with my friend Hannah Witten linked down below. Number two, if you got your exam results already and you're not that happy with them, remember that you cannot let an exam result define your fate. A grade doesn't carry your worth. It doesn't determine your potential in life. And at the core of it, a lot of our opportunities in life are determined largely by so many different factors, like what part of the world we're born in, even what neighborhood, and our families, the friend groups that we grow up with, and the media that we consume. I guess I'm quite lucky in that I developed my passions at quite a young age. So when I read Harry Potter for the first time, I just knew that I wanted to either be a teacher or an author. And funnily enough, those two career paths do kind of crisscross a little bit. Both of them involve sharing and impacting others. And I always knew it's very hard to get published, so I figured I'll teach and then I'll just write as a kind of a passion project. Like, that will be my hobby and I'll still get to do both of them. Your dream might be to be a musician or to own a cafe or just to mind children. The great thing about life is that we all want very different things based on, our upbringing and stuff like that. So it's not like one job is what everyone wants to do and there's not enough job to go around. There's a place for all of us to do something that makes us happy. But Melanie, wonderful, you got a teaching degree and now you're a YouTuber, best job in the world. What have you got to share with us? Okay, what a lot of you may not know, and it has been a kind of an embarrassing topic for me, I guess, over the years, is that I did terribly in school, in my final school exams. And so let's talk a bit about how I got here. I always enjoyed the school environment, even though my experiences of school weren't perfect and I did get bullied, and I moved around school a lot, so I found it really difficult to just form a friend circle, because every couple of years we'd go to a different school. But I loved English and I loved impressing my teachers and stuff like that. I was a bit like Hermione Granger, I guess, growing up. And yeah, usually I worked quite hard and did okay in my tests. But then later in school, so say when I was around 15, 16, I don't know what happened. Okay, so personal life stuff did happen. Like, I lost my grandmother and she was a huge part of my life. She was kind of like a parent figure. And when she died, it hit me so bad that I just didn't want to go to school. I remember staying home a lot and watching the Lord of the Rings extended editions, like the box sets of how they made Lord of the Rings and stuff, as an escape. And I was dating a guy, my first long teenage boyfriend at the time, and he wasn't a great influence, so we would skip school a lot as well, to just hang out and do nothing. I'd say definitely during that year was my first kind of brush in my life with depression. Looking back on it, I definitely wouldn't compare it to the time that I was depressed when I was a bit older, but it was just a really hard year. There was a lot of different things going on in my family life and my friend circles and stuff like that, breaking apart. So school was my last priority. I didn't care at all about exams, and I knew that they were really important, and I knew that if I didn't get enough points, So in Ireland, we have a point system, and you need a certain amount of points to get into different courses based on demand. So if you want to be a doctor or something like that, you need to have like so many points. But yeah, so I knew if I didn't get enough points to be a teacher and go to teaching college, then I had no other idea of what I wanted to do. That was all I'd ever wanted to do, was be a teacher. And I just, yeah, I didn't do very well. There was even one exam where I went in, it was a chemistry exam, and I looked at the paper and I just walked out. I was just like, yeah, screw this, not a chance in hell. And no one and nothing could have made me do well in those exams, because I didn't want to work. I didn't want it enough. I let a lot of things come between me and my goal, and that just happens sometimes. And I wasn't being hard on myself for it. I just kind of almost failed the leaving certificate exams, and I got a lot less points than expected. I didn't get enough points to go and study to become a teacher, and it broke my heart. I did get enough points for a few different courses, one of which that I began and then dropped out of very quickly was in games development, or like kind of computer programming stuff. And I was really terrible at it, because maths and science are not subjects that I'm particularly great at. So that was a fail. I dropped out and I got a job in a shop in GameStop, because I was obsessed with computer games, and I still am, but that was great. I worked there for a couple of years. I became friends with all the staff members, and I just had a nice fun time where I had my 9-to-5 job, and I liked feeling like I'd accomplished something at the end of the day. Working in retail is quite challenging, but I did realise that it didn't really suit my personality type. It wasn't for me. And some of the other people in the shop absolutely loved it there, and they wanted to be in retail forever. And I was so happy for them, but I was also really jealous, because I was like, that's not what I want to do though. And I'm not getting to live my dream. There was a period of time where I literally thought that was my life. All I was ever going to do was work in shops and then just marry someone from the local town. And, I just didn't even have motivation to write, guys. Like, I wasn't even writing. I wasn't doing anything that was giving me a sense of purpose. And I lost all direction. Fast forward a year or two, I'm out of a job. I'm really depressed. I have just blanked out the entire world. I'm playing World of Warcraft all night. Just everything is empty. Everything sucked. I met someone who I ended up being in a relationship with for 6 years, and he was incredible. He encouraged me to go back and do a PLC course. Now, I didn't really even know much about these courses, but they're like a bridge course between school and university or college, whichever thing you want to do. You can do a PLC course, and it can basically boost up your points. And without him, I don't think I would have done that. And I want to be that person for you. If you don't have someone to encourage you to do something that will change your life, let me encourage you right now and just say, do it, try it. If it fails, it doesn't matter, just try it, do it. He encouraged me to go back. I did a year in an education and training PLC course in Dublin City, and then that gave me enough points to then go on and do a degree. This degree, an honours degree in education and training, and I got a 1.1 Bachelor of Science honours degree in education. I worked my ass off for that. That degree was like my Everest, because I'm not someone who's good at tests. What kept me going on that degree is that I loved the subjects. We did psychology, we did philosophy. All these different subjects really engaged me and held my interest, and I knew it was what I really wanted. So I was great at the essays, don't get me wrong, great at the continuous assessment, but I was so shit at exams. Me and my best friend used to have these sleepovers where we would, for 3 days, lock ourselves away, just sit in our pajamas. We wouldn't even shower. We would just get loads of chocolate and sweets and crisps and junk food, and we would write out like our answers that we would learn off. So we would have to memorize thousands and thousands of words off by heart in a row. Then we go into the exam and we'd regurgitate it. The reason we knew what the questions were because our teachers, intelligent little beans that they were, knew that tests are a terrible measure of intelligence. They test your memory. They don't really test what you've learned. And this is why I mainly wanted to make this video. If you're bad at exams, that does not mean you're not intelligent. One thing we learned in our degree was about Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. And so all these intelligences you can see on the screen now are like different areas that you may be really talented at or gifted in, and the school system only really rewards one type of, people who are book smart, basically. And the world does need that, like we need a way of filtering people for different jobs. I mean, I do hope that they come up with a better system, and I know that the school system is moving toward continuous assessment instead of exams. But what kills me is firstly when people put pressure on their children to do well and make them feel less than what they are. I had time out to reflect and to experience a bit of life and realize what I'm passionate about and get that fire reignited to make me feel motivated to chase my dreams. And I did it. And I was 23, I think, graduating with this degree. There was people in my class who were in their 50s, in their 60s, graduating. And also there was people in that class who were pretty bad at all of the subjects, but they got help from other people in the class and they did well. And there was people who were really, really great at all these subjects, but they had personal life stuff going on, so they didn't do so well in the end, and they didn't get the marks that they wanted. I felt like I had to tell you guys that story. There's a lot to learn from hearing about other people's experiences and how they got to where they are. And I mean, yeah, now I'm a YouTuber. So, don't get me wrong, I do want to lecture and all that when I'm older, and I am writing a book, and I have a massive sense of purpose doing YouTube because I get to share, I get to impact people, I get to do the things that if I was a teacher I would be doing, except it's on like a much grander scale. And even though some of the things I talk about on my channel are some of it's quite mundane, some of it's a lot more deep. I know from you guys' feedback that you appreciate me being here, and that I can make you feel better about certain things, and that's what matters to me, and that gives me drive and it gives me a sense of fulfillment. My little sister passed her leaving cert and I'm extremely proud of her, and we had a conversation the other day and she doesn't really know what she wants to do. I'm going to say to you guys what I said to her. It's okay if you don't know what it is in life that makes you feel alive. A lot of the older people that I know that are like really happy in their lives and fulfilled and stuff have tried out so many different jobs. There's so many jobs and so many things that you can do, and maybe there's something you really want to do and you don't have the skill for that job. That's okay too. I'd love to be a musician or a singer. When I watch some of my friends who are really talented, like music wise, I get a bit jealous, I have to say. I'd love to perform on West End and have albums, perform shows, but that's not what I'm good at, and that is fine. I don't want you guys to have that I gotta be realistic mindset. If you really want something, figure out a way of making it happen. Don't give up, but do go easy on yourself if you kind of reach a little bump in the road. It's gonna happen. Happens to everyone. I think what matters most is that you formulate a really supportive network around you of friends, and surround yourself with positive people who are going to encourage you to reach your potential, because there's certain people in life that want to keep you down and they don't want to see you succeed or shoot past them. Those are not the kind of people you need in your life right now. Once again, I want to say, in my sleep deprived state with my tea and my pigtails and my pajama top, that exam results don't define you. Send this to someone who you think it might help. Please leave a comment down below with your thoughts on all of this, and keep chasing your dreams. I'm gone. I'm done. That was awkward. Bye.